some questions for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My Zane.
My name's Adula.
And my name's Iman.
We're the holistic kids here to educate and empower us kids inside out.
All right. I love it.
Help! We are being attacked! Ah!
Guys, we are always being attacked. Thanks to our immune system, we are safe.
Really? Safe?
What can we do to make sure the immune system stays strong? Because I don't want to get attacked.
Food is one of the most powerful tools to strengthen or weaken our immune system.
Really?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because we're gonna ask you some questions. How does food have anything to do with the immune system? But first, we are in luck. Dr. Sally from Dr. Sally's Kitchen is here to talk to us about how the foods we eat affect our immune system. Sally LaMont, ND, LAC, is a naturopathic doctor and an acupuncturist with 35 years in experience in functional medicine. Dr. Sally has created www.drsallyskitchen.com to share strategies and recipes to beat chronic diseases using food as medicine. She helps the good food way to power up your immune system and other digital courses to empower people to take charge of their health and master the lifestyle changes that prevent and reverse chronic disease so they can feel better and get stronger and live longer.
Yay!
Dr. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so honored for you to have you on our show today.
So on.
So honored.
Well,
So
me
how-
too, guys.
So how does a doctor go from being a doctor to a doctor in the kitchen talking all about food and cooking? Because I'm pretty sure that's what cooks do and not doctors. We would love to hear your story.
Well, I grew up in the Midwest, in the very center of the country in Kansas, back when it was back when fast food just got started. And I watched a lot of my cousins and aunts and uncles and parents and grandparents go from healthy looking to getting really sick. And I was watching what they were eating. And the ones that were getting sick were the ones that were eating a lot of sugar, eating a lot of baked goods, eating pies and cakes and cookies and donuts and croissants and just stuffing sugar. And I looked at it, and then I saw my other grandmother who had a great big garden, and they ate really healthy, and they were the healthy ones. And so I realized when I was pretty young that what you put in your mouth made a big difference in your health. And I decided that I needed to, number one, learn to cook healthy food, like real food, instead of just baked goods. And so I taught myself how to cook. And I've been a doctor for 40 years, and I'm very healthy, and I spend every day teaching people about the healing power of food. That's my story.
That is amazing.
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 We have heard a lot over the last 2 years about the immune system.
Wait, Dr. Sally, what is the immune system?
Well, you know how we have a heart, that's our cardiovascular system, and we've got our whole gut, the gut that digests our food, that's the digestive system, and we have the musculoskeletal system with muscles and bones. Then we have this system that's all over the place in our body, and it's called the immune system. And it's a whole set of cells that are on patrol looking for those meanies out there that want to attack us. Things like bacteria and viruses and funguses. So, we're all concerned about this big virus that's making everybody sick today with COVID. So the immune system is like your own internal defense ninjas that are sneaking around. They're in your lymph nodes, they're in your bone marrow, they're in your bloodstream, and they are always on patrol, like an army or like a police force, looking for the bad guys who, like you guys said, are always looking to get in and attack us. They're looking for it, so they know how to come up and say, here comes a virus, and there's an immune cell called a white blood cell that goes snarf and grabs that bacteria or virus and digests it and gets rid of it. So the immune system is your own internal defense army, or ninjas, you could call them, that are protecting you from the various microbes that want to get into your body and make you sick.
That is amazing. I never knew how complex and simple the immune system really is.
So how does food eating affect the immune system? Aren't they different symptoms?
Sis.
So when we eat real food, by real food, I mean things that grow on the earth, like fruits and vegetables of all kinds, and protein and nuts and seeds, and even sometimes grains and beans. Real food, especially vegetables and fruits, have a bunch of vitamins and minerals that are essential for making our immune system work right. But that's not what most of us eat. As you guys know, most people are chowing down on fast food, on hamburgers and burritos and tacos and chips and corn chips and sodas and just a bunch of really what you could call fake food. And fake food does not have those key vitamins and minerals. So our body simply does not work right when it doesn't have those nutrients in it. The biggest culprit of all, the things that slow down our immune system's ability to fight infection, like that white blood cell that's going to glom on to that bacteria or virus and take it away. The biggest problem is, can you guess it? What do you think it is?
Food. Sleep.
Sugar. Sugar. Who would think that something sweet like sugar could mess up your immune system? But it does. When we drink a soda, for example, that soda has like a half a cup of sugar in it, a quarter of a cup, a lot. And that sugar, it slows down those white blood cells, the good guys that want to go digest and get a hold of the bad guys. And it makes your blood be more like syrup instead of like a river that's carrying your immune system to go fight off infection. It just slows everything down and gums up the works. So that's how food affects the immune system. Good food makes it work. Real food makes it work. Fake, refined, and processed junk food screws the whole thing up and leaves us more vulnerable to infection.
That is horrible.
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 Really horrible.
Now,
Yeah.
we talk a lot about the microbiome on our show. Is there a connection between microbiome and the immune system and sauerkraut?
Yes, there is. There is, because when we eat real food, the fiber in our real food, like say if you eat an orange, it's got all the stuff that holds the orange juice in place. That fiber feeds the bacteria that live down below in your large intestine and helps them make good things for your system. Sauerkraut comes from cabbage, and when cabbage is really full of fiber. And so when we take those fiber rich foods and they get fermented, a bunch of bacteria actually are living in the sauerkraut or kimchi, or even yogurt. You can take milk and it can get fermented into yogurt, and those foods have friendly bacteria that go down into your large intestine and help your immune system get the messages about what are the bad guys, what are the good guys, and which viruses and bacteria to attack, and which ones are part of, they're part of the good guys. So there's a real connection. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi are examples of foods that are good for your microbiome and your immune system.
What are the best foods us kids should eat for our immune system?
That is a very good question. I like to say that we should be eating fruits and vegetables that are of every color of the rainbow. And it just so happens that the orange and red foods are the ones that are best for the immune system. So let's talk about orange foods, because the first thing you think when you think of orange foods are oranges. And oranges have a lot of vitamin C in them. Vitamin C is super good for our immune system, helps us fight infection. But then, and in fact, all of the citrus fruits, so lemons, oranges, limes, even kiwis, those green ones that are so fun that look like, do you know what a kiwi is?
Yeah, I know what kiwis are. I love them.
Yeah, they're packed with vitamin C. But other orange foods like pumpkin and yams, the orange potatoes, butternut squash, carrots have a lot of a kind of vitamin called vitamin A in them, which helps to protect all of what we call the mucosal surfaces. And that's like on the inside of your mouth, that's a mucous membrane. And they run from our nose to our mouth through our whole body. Vitamin A helps keep those surfaces capable of fighting off infection. So orange foods, but even yellow foods, things like yellow peppers and yellow squash and corn. But we really want to make sure that when we eat corn, we eat organic corn, because corn has been messed with and, has pesticides and genetically engineered and stuff like that. I want to say one other really important color that we should be eating, and there's lots of foods in this color group, and that's the green foods. So even things like broccoli and its white cousin cauliflower and all the dark leafy greens have special phytonutrients, special plant nutrients that help our immune system recognize the invaders and go after them. So red, yellow, green foods.
I love to cook. What are the best ways we can start to get these good foods in our bodies?
Well, I think soups is a good answer to that question. Do you guys like soup? Do you make soup at home?
Yes, sometimes.
Yes.
What do you like to cook?
Bone broth.
You like to cook bone broth?
Do you cook bone broth?
We like to cook cookies.
Yeah. And pancakes, but we're talking about
Soups.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was saying
Soups are good because, you can make bone broth, like you mentioned. You can take chicken bones and cook them for a day or two, and then it takes all the good stuff from inside the bones, and that's the broth. And then you can put in the carrots and the onions and the peppers and the green veggies, and you can make, I see you chomping away on your soup. You can make really delicious foods. Like garlic is another thing that makes soups taste good, and garlic kills viruses and bacteria. So, and so do onions for that matter. So we can't exclude white foods. White foods like onions and cauliflower and even mushrooms have powerful immune stimulating properties. And there's probably a way to make pancakes even more healthy. Like if you used some fruit in your pancakes, like blueberries, because purple foods are good for the immune system too. So you could put berries in your pancakes. And when you make cookies, I bet your mom helps you to make them with less sugar and with other ingredients that just keep them from getting too sweet, because it's too much sugar that slows down your immune system.
Yeah, we use cassava flour and almond flour.
Sometimes tiger flour.
Tiger nut flour,
Yeah.
yeah, those. And then we actually don't add any sugar. We like if we don't want to add, then we're gonna use honey or sugar, or like our or then top it off with a little organic syrup.
Well, you are very lucky because your mom is a great cook, and I've tasted her baked goods. And if there's anybody that I trust could make a healthy cookie or a healthy pancake, it would be your mom. And I know she's put a lot of those recipes into her cookbook and on the website. So I kind of focus more on savory foods, though. And that's why I like soups, because they can be made with lots of different vegetables. And I have a bunch of different soup recipes on Dr. Sally's Kitchen. And I want you to, go look at that, and maybe you guys can make a soup for your mom. How about that?
Yep, that sounds like a great plan idea.
Yeah.
Great one.
So, what food actually, besides sugar, hurts our immune system?
Too much bad fried food is definitely not good. All the, in modern food talk, they call it ultra processed food. So, we start out with say something like wheat, a grain, which people have eaten for thousands of years and it was fine. But over the last 100 years, people got a hold of wheat and they ground it up into flour, and then they turned it into a zillion different food products that don't have the fiber that an actual grain does. And they've hybridized it, where they've crossbred it. So it has really high levels of something called gluten. And you guys don't eat a lot of gluten, I know, because your mom is using gluten-free flours like cassava and almond and coconut flours that don't have these toxins in them like gluten and gliadin. But, wheat, the way it used to be, was okay because people just took that wheat, ground it up. But nowadays it gets turned into hundreds of different kinds of products that are bought in the center of the grocery store, where all the rows of fast food that's the stuff that's bad for the immune system. So too much sugary food, wheat that's been turned into a lot of different kinds of fake food products, and then things that have been overly fried, like deep fried, they damage our immune system.
That is, again, horrible. I mean, kids eat a lot of junk, and imagine all of those kinds of sugars and artificial chemicals and all of that kind of entering and poisoning some kids' bodies. I mean, how can we get kids to eat more good food?
Well, I think, you guys are doing a really interesting thing here, and that is you're learning, and you can then educate your parents. The kids listening to this, some of their parents may not totally know this. So you can say, hey, let's get some real food tonight. Let's get into the kitchen and cook some food together. So I think learning to make your own food and working to have your parents help you do that could not only help your immune system be stronger, but you could help your family get more healthy. Like you guys, you are lucky because you got a mom that is on top of it. She knows what's going on, but millions of other people, they don't. So you're doing a real service teaching, giving an opportunity for people like me and other wonderful doctors and healers to come on your show and wake your brains up to what's possible when you eat real food. Real food makes us strong and healthy. Fake food makes us sick and leads to a lot of disease in our country. So you keep learning and you get in the kitchen and start learning to cook.
What else improves our immune system?
Well, let's see. There are, there's so many. I mean, I think of the kinds of foods we talked about. One food that we haven't spoken of much that seems like such an unusual food to be good for the immune system are mushrooms. Those little toadstools out there, not the kind you just don't want to go pick them out of the yard and eat them because some can be poisonous. But the interesting thing about mushrooms is that they actually make their own vitamin D like we do. So something that improves our immune system is sunshine. Getting out into the sun every day shines light on our skin, and in our skin cells we can make a really important vitamin. Probably the most important vitamin for the immune system is vitamin D. And it turns out that even mushrooms that you have picked that are sitting in your refrigerator, you can take them, slice them up, put them out on a cookie sheet in the sun and let them get a suntan for a little while. And they start making vitamin D of their own. And then you eat that mushroom and the vitamin D goes into your body to help fight infection. So I think that's kind of a surprising food that's good for the immune system. So sun, sleep. Sleep is so important because it's while we sleep that our immune systems are resting and regenerating and helping our body to be strong and healthy so the next day it can get out there and fight off the bad guys.
That is so surprising. I mean, who would have thought that sunlight is food for our skin?
Yeah, it is. It's food for our body. And water too, staying hydrated, getting enough water, like drinking sodas doesn't count. Drinking a lot of really good pure water helps the entire body work better. So sunlight, sleep, water, real food are, and one more thing I just thought of that's not food, but it still acts like food on our body. And that's moving your body, exercising, being active. Because when we just sit around and watch TV all day or play on our phones, we're not activating our little ninjas to get out there and fight off infection. So making sure that you get time outside and off of screens to move your body and be in nature is super important.
Yes, being in nature is so good for us, as we love to ground.
Ground.
Yeah, you know what grounding is. You're ahead of the game.
So, what is one thing kids can do today to improve the immune system?
Well, if I could leave you with one idea, it would be to make sure that you every day get 5 servings of vegetables and fruits. And they've done a study and found that 2 servings of fruit and let's see if I can hold up the right fingers, 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit is the perfect ratio. Do you know that only 1 in 10 people actually do that? 1 in 10. And so getting 5 servings of veggies and fruit, and the best that you can do to make them all the different colors of the rainbow is probably one of the simplest and easiest ways to empower your immune system to fight off infection and help you stay strong and healthy for life.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that is really, really amazing. What is one thing kids can do today to improve their immune system?
And where can people learn more about you and your work?
So there's 2 things you can do. You can go to Dr. Sally's Kitchen, and it's just DR, the abbreviation for doctor, drsallieskitchen.com. And that's where I have a bunch of recipes. And I think it's going across the bottom. And then I have a class that people can take online to help them learn how to cook food to support their immune system. And it's called The Good Food Way to Power Up Your Immune System. And it's full of recipes and tips and some really interesting information about the immune system. It's got cooking videos, and it's a really fun class. So I highly recommend that you head to Dr. Sally's Kitchen and drsallionline.com where you can learn more.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sally.
And please tell us more about your courses.
Well, since we've made it clear that cooking is a really important part of learning to take care of yourself, I have made cooking videos, and they're a little bit different than what you might see on the Food Network, where, you know, they have kids baking sugary stuff with fake food colors. I cook real food there. And so my courses are filled with recipes and cooking demonstrations, and they're fun and they're upbeat and they're short and they're straightforward. So, and then we go into a little more deeper information about how the immune system works and how we can stay healthy through this pandemic. So that's what I've got.
That was so empowering. Everyone, make sure to follow Dr. Sally on social media and check out our course.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sally.
Well, you are welcome, you guys. It was really nice to meet you. And I wish you all the best with your holistic kids show, Kids Empowering Kids. I love it. And I just wish you all the best for a really healthy and happy next year. Bye.
First, before we leave, let's recap your key points. The foods we eat can improve our body's army, or we can make the army sick. There is so much we can do to make our immune system sick, and so we have to keep it strong. And real foods make us strong. Healthy foods make and fake foods make us sick. So eat at least 5 every day. Make sure to eat a lot of vitamin C's, oranges, which actually contain vitamin C's and help us fight infection. Carrots also have vitamin A and help protect our mucous membranes and keep those surfaces to help fight infections.
You got
Stay
it.
away from sugar weakens the immune system. Stay away from junk food as it weakens our army men and our ninjas. Then our ninjas can't even protect our body.
That's right.
Help your parents understand the importance of food and our immune system. Time to get the whole family involved to cook a meal with real food, not fake food. Other food that improve our immune system is mushrooms and other things we can do is get enough sunshine, sleep, getting out in nature, and exercising.
Make sure you're drinking enough water, as when you are dehydrated, our body doesn't work well. There's so much we can do to make sure we can keep our immune system healthy, and so much hope.
Thank you, Thank you so much, Dr. Sally, for giving us all so much hope. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zain Ansari.
I'm Abdullah.
And I'm Iman.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Mom MD, and look out for my mom's book, The Holistic RX, Your Guide to Healing Chronic Inflammation and Disease. And we're so excited to announce our mom's new books, The Holistic RX for Kids, Parents Healthy and Bodies in a Changing World, and the amazing children's book we wrote together called Animal Adventures, The Power of Rainbow Food. So check it out on Amazon. Yay! Kids need to learn from other kids. Kids need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast and leave a review so other kids and Tammys can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthier future for all of us and the planet. Join us next week for another episode of the Kids Show, where kids empower kids. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.